What's going on, everybody?
What is up? Music Mayhem with R&D is back. I'm Danny.
I'm Riley. What's going on?
All right, so we are in the process of doing the full reaction to the F8 album that Five Finger just dropped about an hour ago.
Yep.
We have gone through A Little Bit Off, Bottom of the Top, To Be Alone, and Mother May I.
Yep.
We have already decided that we are not going to react to the songs that we've already heard, which would be Inside Out, Full Circle, and Living the Dream.
Yeah, no need to do reviews.
That's right.
No need to do a disservice. We want to give you guys the most raw reactions that we can from songs that we've never heard before.
That's right. And at this point, like we've said in other videos, this is kind of like Five Finger's redemption album.
Yeah.
At least for what we are kind of taking it as.
And it's been living up to it.
It certainly has.
Yeah.
It certainly has. I've definitely liked the lyric content in these songs. Ivan has certainly got much more into the interpersonal things that's going on within him, or maybe within the band in general.
That's right. That's right.
And you know, as people that, well, I mean, we certainly know we're not the only ones, but nonetheless, for the people that have those emotions and have those feelings and don't have a way to go ahead and have an outlet to get them out there, Ivan is certainly doing that with this album.
Sure.
And it's really nice to hear. Musically, everything is hit for the most part exactly the way that we wanted it to. His voice, as it always has sounded, sounds amazing. And we are certainly on the way to saying that this is definitely the redemption album for Five Finger.
For sure.
The other one was A Bag of Dicks.
Yeah.
And we
a fat one at that.
Right. And we tore it apart in our last reaction for Five Finger.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we are going to now react to Darkness Settles In. And about 4 minutes, 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get it done.
Yeah, let's go for it.
20 hours ago? Huh. Maybe we missed one.
We've been up so long. Fuck.
Did I miss work?
You're right.
Because I feel like I missed work now.
All right, let's go.
No call, no show.
Another sun sets down behind me. Another day comes crashing in. There's a whispering wind that's blowing. There's a storm that's closing in. I can hear the trains, they're rolling to a place I've never been. And I can feel the breath beside me with an empty glass of gin. As the darkness settles in, I can hear her voice.
You happen to notice that empty glass of gin?
I can hear your voice again. But no one ever comes. I'm breaking down the walls and keeping but nothing ever falls away. Waiting for the end to take me blinded by the sun.
All right. So I did like that last little bit of the chorus, whereas like talking about things like when you bring the walls down, but it doesn't fall into place necessarily. I like that because it's like, yes, you can, especially if you're that type of person who is always stuck in your head, or there's always something that's going through your mind, questioning necessarily whether maybe you're doing the right thing, and so you break that wall down. But it doesn't necessarily mean that because you're breaking the wall down that it's
going to be different from what you've been used to.
Well, that, or it's not going to fall into the place that you necessarily thought it was going to fall into because you broke the wall down. It could be scattered all over the place, and now you have to figure out how you're going to go about it. Like how do you go out of your comfort zone? Like you're getting yourself out of your comfort zone, or you're getting out of what you've been used to, expecting that once you break yourself out of that cycle, that it's just going to all of a sudden be better. And that's not necessarily true. You're going to get yourself out of that that comfort zone. Essentially, you're going to break that wall down, or you're going to make the decision that is necessary to get yourself out of a bad position. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to get your head or whatever you're going through into a better spot. You're still going to have to deal with the lingering effects, and how do you piece it back together, essentially?
Well, yeah, I mean, but not all situations are exactly like that. I mean, you could be a guarded person, and you can have all of these walls put up that you have put in place for yourself, and it's just the fear of letting those walls down that prevent you from actually letting them down again.
Yeah. Like you keep them up because you don't know what's on the other side of the wall, essentially.
Or whatever happened to you prior to that has fucked you up to the point where you're not going to let them down.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's there's a big wall, but there's still another wall behind that wall.
Right. There's a wall, and then there's a wall, and then there's a wall, and then there's a wall,
and you have to keep breaking them
down. That's right.
Until there's a pathway.
That's right. And, but eventually you do need to understand that something is going to come in front of you that is going to be a little bit different than it, or it's going to feel or perceive itself as different than what you've been used to.
It's another challenge.
That's right. But the challenge is letting those walls down.
Right.
That you've put in place for yourself.
Right. It's allowing yourself to get past those things.
Right. That's right. Okay. Even though this is a ballad, I'm digging this as well. I like the sound. Ivan's voice once again is amazing.
Yeah.
And the lyric content kind of feeds right into the rhetoric of what the rest of the album sounded like already.
Yeah.
All right, we got about 3 minutes.
Seems like a concept album.
That's right.
Far.
It certainly is.
Yeah. Let's go.
I can see through my reflection, become what I've been. You see your film coming for me. It's like I'm holding all the aces.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I'm breaking down
So true. That's wrong. That's so wrong.
Dude, this is a fucking great song, bro. This is a great goddamn song.
This is one of those where, like, I feel like we've almost reverted the same thing on a lot of these songs so far.
It's hard to not to. It's hard not to.
It's very personal, and it hits in a way that I know that I've gone through.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you've gone through as well. Like talking about how, again, breaking down the walls, but not knowing where it falls type of shit. Like, you could be like, you can know that this is the decision that you need to make, or this is the road that you need to go down to break yourself away from whatever you have yourself in. And just because you make the decision that you know you need to make, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to ultimately be, well, maybe ultimately, but you're not going to necessarily be okay at that moment. Like, you're going to make that hard decision. It's not going to necessarily make you happier at that moment. You're going to be a little bit of a wreck. You're going to question everything at that point.
Sure.
Like, and then at that point, now you're making yourself a mess. But in the long run, it's like you look at that decision and just you hold solace in the fact that it's eventually going to get better, which is where I think that this is probably going, or maybe not even in this in general, but maybe the next song, or as you go down the road, as we keep going down the road of this album, that it will eventually get to that point where you see where the end game is for whatever message they're protruding through the entire album.
Yeah.
But this is certainly one of those where he's like, yeah, I did this. I'm still not okay. I don't know if what I did was correct or if that was the right decision, but I had to do this for me, essentially. And now I'm having to essentially reflect on every emotion and every thought process that has gone through with making said decision.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you are used to being or have been or currently are a broken human being, the scariest thing that you could ever possibly do is put yourself in a position that you were ever in prior to that caused the brokenness to begin with.
Or be vulnerable in general, if you will.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like he's saying, and like we've talked about, it's okay to be scared.
Of course.
It's all right to be scared.
Yeah.
That's natural. But eventually, you need to understand that there are things that are different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
it's kind of like the thought process of, okay, if you're comfortable, then you're not growing. And if you're growing, then maybe you're not necessarily comfortable.
Yeah.
At least not all the time.
Yeah, right. And that's accurate. That's accurate. Yeah, because if you're comfortable, that you are not necessarily doing anything to progress, because there is at that point in your own mind, there is no progression necessary.
If anything, the worst thing that's happening is that you're digressing.
That's right.
Because you're too comfortable.
Because you're comfortable.
Right.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. All right. We got about a minute and 47 seconds. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, let's go. Five-finger solo.
This has gone back to their older mountains.
Yeah.
Stage the winding, singing songs of pain and sin. There's an anger overflowing from this empty glass of gin. As the darkness settles in, and the darkness settles in.
That's five-finger, bro. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like you in the song. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like this.
I think it's just gonna fade out.
As the darkness settles in.
Actually,
I didn't like the end.
Well,
I didn't like the end.
But that was not what I thought was going to happen for the end. All right.
You thought there was gonna
well,
be
I thought it was going to hit that back end of that little talking part, and instead of the don't, it was just going to kind of whisper off essentially.
And that's why, I mean, musically, you can almost hear it coming that things were not going to end the way that you expected them to.
Yeah.
Which is why I said 30 seconds before the song ended, holy shit, I'm not going to like the ending.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the ending.
Yeah.
I did not like the ending. But
I thought, you know what? It was not. It certainly has not been the best thing that I heard off of this, but it's still. I like the fact that at least it seems like from every song that we've heard so far, there has been a consistent message behind it, whether it's just something that he's going through and he needs to let it out type of thing. Like there is a story that is going on right now. I thought that musically, for the most part of that song, it was good, especially considering it was your five-finger ballad, if you will.
Right.
I thought it was good.
But it was.
I thought there was certain aspects that I was like, okay, I want a little bit more there. I want a little bit more there. But this is another one of those songs where it's like, okay, I will probably not go out of my way to search for this song, but it's another one of those where it's like, okay, if it just comes on, I'll listen to it.
Absolutely. And this seems to be a repetitive thing, just like you just said a few minutes ago. And this is a concept album.
Yeah.
This song is about pain and about recovery and about change. I mean, this album is about pain and recovery and change
or
and
growing.
Growth,
Right.
And growth.
Right.
You know, and once again, like we said in the last video, Ivan's been through a lot of shit in these last couple of years, and he's completely changed himself around.
Yeah.
So them coming out with a concept album like this, where he's able to go ahead and just get it off of his chest, makes sense.
Yeah.
The one thing I was worried about is them going ahead and doing that, but losing their sound in the process.
Sure. And I don't think they've done that at all.
They have not. They have reinvented themselves.
Well, I was gonna say, if anything, they've refound the sound.
That's correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So I'm good with this. I will say that because of the way that the song ended, I'm not gonna go fully up. I'm probably gonna go about 80.
You know what?
80,
I think I'll go about 75.
Okay.
Just because as much as I appreciate the fact that there's still a message behind it, there was still certain parts in the song where I was like, oh, I wish you did that instead.
Yeah.
I wish you did that instead.
Yep.
And then that as much as the ending was not like that flutter off, if you will, it still wasn't necessarily like okay. Like that was a good way to end it. Like it kind of left something to be desired.
Well, I mean, it was almost like the song was about 10 to 15 seconds too long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like hit the end of the last chorus and just kind of hit that long strum.
That's right.
And let it
a nice little chord, let it fade out, and that's it.
Yeah. But it wasn't bad though.
No, it was not bad at all.
So
it was not bad at all. All right, so that was Darkness Settles In.
Yeah.
We are going to be back here in about 10 minutes with Please Hold. Please Hold. This is War.
Oh.
All right.
That sounds like it should be a winner.
The name of the song is a good one.
Sounds like it should be a winner.
So we'll figure it all out. And we're gonna go ahead and keep this train rolling. I am Danny.
I'm Riley, and hey, for the couple of people that have been with, I don't know if it's been the same 2 people or the same 3 people or 1 person or whoever the fuck's been sticking around this whole time. Look, dude, drop us a comment. Dude, we sincerely appreciate the fact that we even get to see the fact that you guys are watching us as we're doing this. I know it's not pristine. So the fact that you're with us the entire way is fucking awesome.
Well, once again, I will reiterate what we prefaced earlier. We're not in it for you to actually hear this song. You want to hear the song in its entirety in clear? Go ahead and listen to this song by itself. And then come back and listen to our reaction, because we are literally giving you the unbiased, natural reaction of what we're doing, and we don't give a shit whether or not you hear the song.
Well, yeah, and in the same aspect, if you're listening to our reaction video before you actually listen to the song clearly, go listen to the song and then come back onto this video and tell us what you think. Leave us a comment of how you feel about the song. Let us know if what we're saying seems to be legitimized. Let us know if you feel a different way. That way we can eventually bring it up in a later video. I mean, I think that's fair.
Or
don't. I don't know. Whatever.
Or we just won't get back to you. I mean, we're pretty good about getting back.
Yeah. As long as you're not sitting there being a complete troll and just shitting all over us and just to shit all over us, Like if you have legit, fuck you. if you have if there's certain parts of the song that don't hit you the right way, that maybe it was hitting us a different way, or if you have a different view of what you think the song means or something like that, hey, I am the first person to see a comment and reply on both of our names.
Yeah.
To try to understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I have no problem. I pride the fact that there's anybody at all that's watching our videos. So the last thing I want to do is, I'm not trying to piss y'all off. If we don't like a video, we don't like a video.
Yeah. So in other words, he likes being shit on. Anyway, I'm Danny, and this is Riley.
Well,
we are Music Mayhem with R&D.
I
hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Don't get my Stanley Steamer wrong.
We'll be back in about
no
10
Stanley
minutes.
Steamers.
We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Fuck you.